One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 200, 201, 201, 202, 23, 24, 206, 207, 308, 300.
Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining me on this episode of the program Say Prayer Guys, May Nigeria Never Happen to You on Nostalgia Media via YouTube. Thank you. My name is Richie. They will see it's still that time every Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 1 p.m. West African time, including Nigeria. I should be celebrating, yeah. But, you know, what's the point in celebrating when folks are grieving, when elders are lying, telling lies, when leaders are doubling down on deception? It's a worrying time. Arsenal Football Club. I've been a supporter of Arsenal Football Club for over 3 decades, close to 4, really. And even in my despondency at this time, there are lessons to be taken from, you know, Arsenal's eventual crossing the line as the English Premiership champions. Resilience, determination, support, support. Support from the management, support from past players, support from the players, their coach, and most importantly, the support from we, those of us, we, the long-suffering Arsenal fans. You know, at the end of the day, all the hurts, all the disappointments, all the giants, all the banter behind. It got me thinking about the situation Nigeria has been in since, it's actually since I was born, and I will show you evidence now. It's not today. So when you have folks trying to trivialize issues, stop being angry. No, anger is not going to cut it anymore now. You need to dig in. Thankfully, you have enormous resources now to research, to check for things yourself. and then speak with clarity, speak with conviction, speak with facts. Hopefully, those who really want genuine change for Nigeria will listen to you. Still on the Arsenal issue, and still drawing lessons from Nigeria there. From it, to look at what the situation of Nigeria has been, is, even still at this moment. At the threshold, maybe, if we think it's so. After all, every single match Arsenal has played this season, especially this particular season, they will say, the naysayers will say, oh, this is the most difficult match of there. They are not going, if they win this one, they will win. And I say, okay, no, they didn't, it's only through a free kick, but there's not open play. Everything. Nigeria is in that situation right now. I have a friend. Well, I still believe I should call him a friend, who was an Arsenal Football Club fan, a very ardent Arsenal Football Club fan. I won't mention his name. He's likely watching this, program right now, or at any other time that he might get to watch it. He will know he's one. I met him in Abuja when I still had a home in Abuja. Football it's not interesting to watch football, no matter how posh or whatever your home is, no matter how big your television screen is. No, you have to be among the boys. You have to. So Abuja then, I think it's still, I don't think it would have changed now. There's a lot of corner shops, joints, bars, if you like. So there was one huge place in the Oyo State then. That's where we lived then. And yeah, I'll go there especially days when Arsenal had matches to play. And then I met this guy there. We became friends, we talked. And suddenly, that same period, this was 2009, 2010, yes. Arsenal couldn't win the league, and this guy got angry. Remove his Arsenal jersey. I will never support this club again. From today, I'm a Man City fan, and he did cross over. He did change and became a Man City fan. I follow his banters online. He was no longer an Arsenal fan. Remember 2009, 2010 to this time, 17 years, 16 years ago. But he didn't leave Arsenal alone. He kept everything. He would compare everything. If he had done this, if they had done this. Arsenal has won the league now. So what are you going to do, my friend? It makes sense for us to remain resolute, not senselessly resolute, not with any form of stupidity. No, resolute that life itself is not wait and get. It's not pressure cook. It's not for. It's process. When the right things are done, maybe probably the expected results will show. Okay, and when we're talking processes, it's not the day they cut the roots of a tree in the forest that it withers or it falls. It takes time. The challenges that Nigeria has been facing, people have been seeing vestiges of it, signs, symptoms. The root causes are far deeper. And then when you have those who should be maybe better placed to assuage, not for, generally, but just assuage frilled nerves. Doubling down on rhetorics that are not helpful in any way to Nigeria's circumstances and situation, especially at this particular time. So the question then would be, why did this individual now, or these individuals now, choose to do what they are doing at this particular time? Last episode, I mentioned General Gowon, and I said, oh, thank God he's finally, that I'm one of those who said, look, General Gowon owes Nigeria and Nigerians a book to tell us his own side of the story, what happened, why could that war that nearly cost me my life, that impacted on me terribly, my family, friends, community members, terribly, and nobody wants to talk about. No, everybody shut up, hush, hush, never mention. He was in one of his broadcasts. Let nobody mention the name Biafra is no longer this one, and nobody should mention it. They threw everything about the crimes they committed all through that time period, under the carpet with states' fiat, should not. And the atrocities that they committed all through that period became hush-hush. Hush-hush that were only being recounted by the same people who committed those atrocities when they now feel like telling their own part. They wrote books, all of them. Most of, like I keep saying, most of the books that you find on the issues around the Civil War are stories told by soldiers. And General Gowon has finally told his own. And last episode, I said, I pray that he doesn't, bring about more questions than answers. Unfortunately, he's just done that. He's done just that. Even while saying, I don't want to open new ones. Sir, General Yakubu Gowon, sir, you have not just opened new wounds, you have applied salt on festering wounds. I said I was going to buy the book, but from the bits and pieces I read, don't ask me how. I'm not going to buy your book, sir. At over 90, I think you are 92 now. At over 90, what are you afraid of, sir, to tell the truth? Even if you are not going to tell the truth, why didn't you just go ahead and write a book about your children and your grandchildren? Instead of presenting falsehoods. Yes, I'm saying falsehood because you are not talking about things that people are already, they're just waiting for you. I'm one of those that were like, benefit of doubt. I've always considered you a good man somehow, but no, this book, no, sir. I had, children. I was one of those children that stood by the roadside waving Nigerian flags. It's in my book. This book behind me here, Biafra, Let's We Forget. I narrated that incident. And you visited the Southeast, visited the East Central states then. Well, on your way from Umuahia to Aba, that corridor, Itungwa, I stood on the roadside with other schoolmates, waving flags. We're all happy. Children, what did we know? It's all about oil. It's the resources. You've gone ahead with this shameful, embarrassing narrative, like a broken record. At your age, it's all resources. And what is it that has kept Nigeria in this? Is still the same resources now. So you started it. Splintered Nigeria. And you are talking about keeping Nigeria one. You're talking about allegiance. The word allegiance appears in the title of you. Allegiance to who? Not Nigeria. Certainly not that entity, Nigeria. I'm sorry, I'm just one person, yes, but this one person is not going to read that. Forget this. But there's no need. The pain is, you see, people are trying to go on. People have tried to move on. People have moved on. So why did you write this book now, sir? Why? General Ibrahim Babangida wrote his own book last year, or at least put it out last year. He was bold enough to take responsibility and went ahead to release a result that we all knew was what the result was anyway. But he went ahead and we read it painstakingly. We watched him, it's recorded. It painstakingly announced or read, not announced, read that result of the 1993 general presidential election, which MKO Abiola won. All Nigerians knew he won, but it was assumption. It was, well, permutation until we knew he won. But President Babangida could have written that book, look for, ignore it, dodge it. He did not. Has it done everything right about concerning Nigeria? Of course not. Nobody is completely right about anything. Perfect? No. Saint? No. But he was bold enough. And touching a whole lot of controversial issues. He didn't dodge them, mostly. But you, sir, Ojukwu made deals. They got 10 million pounds or dollars for in exchange for. So somebody who is in a conflict, who needs support. What did you do yourself, sir? The people who, the foreign powers who supported you, they supported you for free. Or the bazaar you did with Nigeria, has it ended? You see that Bakassi just to spite the Southeast. You went into all sorts of agreements which have not ended. The problems you created by just targeting a group that did what? All of you agreed, okay, everybody go back to your region. Let's see for things to calm down. Ironsi was killed. In some places, some people have reviewed some of the book where Ojukwu was part of the coup plotters. Please, it can't be old age. It can't be old age. It's not true. Somebody said maybe he's talking from. No, it's not old age. That's the mindset with which he has lived. Bitterness. Okay? Lies, deceit. Ojukwu was part of the coup plotters. He was alive. You were there. You walked through. Why didn't you come up with this when he was there? Not that he will beat you or anything. Not there to answer you. Unfortunately, some other people who are in position to answer you, I'm sure they will probably just choose to just ignore, keep quiet, because they have written. President Obasanjo has written. So many other people living have written. Some have died. Ojukwu was part of the coup plotters. He said it, and I've read in several books. Yes, the coup was a public knowledge, both to the civilian politicians and the military. Some people won this, so many books. The premier of the Western region then, Akintola, sent messages to the Sadwana, protect yourself, there's something. He chose not to. So somehow, for some reasons, when things are going to happen, they will happen. One way or the other. Ojukwu was part of the coup plotter. If Ojukwu had been part of the coup plotters, I don't think the situation would have gone the way it went. Nzebu didn't have troops outside of those in the school there, whatever. Yeah. Ojukwu had troops in Kano. What is on record, documented by several writers, that he refused to release, to open the armory. It's even documented that he detained those who were sent to, get him. So there was nobody killed in Kano. If Ojukwu had been part of the coup, it's not possible that what happened in Ojukwu himself, from available records, was a target. So what's the reason for spreading this falsehood? Who put you up to this? At 90? But don't worry. I've said these things didn't, you were about 30 or 31 or so when I was born. But sir, in case you think nobody knew anything, yes, I'm going to show you something. Okay, and everybody listening to me. So that Nigerians, I've been telling you, you should know what you should be aware of the time period that you are living in right now. It's not different. The only difference now is that people are more enlightened, information. I'm here talking to you, depending on what part of the world you're listening from. A lot of people have written, a lot of people have done videos, we are talking every day. We want more people to talk, want more programs like this. Talk, keep talking. Perchance, some people are saying, okay, more people need to say, no, this has to stop. There is a newspaper in Nigeria called the Daily Times. Daily Times has a publication that they made, I think it was on the 11th, I think it was on the 11th of December, 1959. That was 3 days after I was born. 3 days after I was born. So these guys have been at this thing for as long as I've been on earth. I'm an old man. What you're seeing on your screen is a result of the 1959 election, general elections in Nigeria. That, please, for those of you who are following politics in Nigeria right now, excuse me, sir, Amaz, do you notice anything? Look at the political permutations and the alliances and all of that. See, can you see any resemblance from that, what you are looking at on your screen now? That result and the consequences of that result eventually was what led to the crisis in the Midwestern region. The crisis in the Midwestern region was what led to the Civil War. It was not the Igbos. Now, for the avoidance of doubt, okay? Guys, could you send me that stuff here? Yeah, I know it's on the screen. Send it to my own screen. We will take a few minutes to look at that result. In case you are not, in case you are not seeing what I'm looking at, we'll discuss it. Thank you, guys. NCNC, in case you don't know who NCNC is or was, NCNC was a political party that was, at that time, being led by the late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe from the east, from the southeast of Nigeria. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe didn't found the NCNC. The NCNC was founded by some other person who's a Yoruba person, but we are not discussing tribes now. But then somehow it's become so difficult to discuss issues about Nigeria and not get into the tribal stories. It hasn't changed. Can it change this time? I think Nigeria has a chance for that to change this time, if people really get serious with loving Nigeria and not themselves. NCNC had 78. What you're looking at here, the 78 issue here is members of parliament. Okay, let's understand it. So you don't see 78 what. Okay, those have been elected because it's the parliament now that will form the government. Okay, good. It was not the presidential system, it was the British, if you like, system that will produce a prime minister instead of a president. And if you looked at the spread of those elected members that had been declared so far, because as at that time, they still had 99 seats that had not been declared. As that 78, the NCNC had 2 seats from Lagos. Yes, that time Lagos was different from the West. Yeah, okay. Lagos. From the East, 58. Well, you could say because they're from the East, that skill is from the East. Well, you look at the other ones, was there any difference? It's been like that. It hasn't changed. From the West, 18. From the West. But 0 from the North. Okay? You see that 0 that Zeke scored from the North probably saved him a little bit. Going forward, I will tell you what happened. Now, the action group, which was led by late Chief Obafemi Awolowo, scored 1 seat in Lagos. Did that sound like somebody in 2023? 1 seat. In the East, 12 seats, still won 12 seats. So yeah, so Chief Obafemi Awolowo was quite liked, yeah. Some progressive reasoning, postulating, and all of that, yeah. But when it got to the time to put those postulations to practice to benefit all Nigerians, he chickened out. And it cost him eventually. We'll get there. And from the North, he won 8 seats. That was what sent him to jail. Why? Let's look at the next guys following. NPC, the Other People's Congress, I think, of Sardauna of Sokoto and Ahmadu Bello, Ahmadu Bello, Sardauna of Sokoto, and then Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, who eventually became the prime minister. They had 67 votes. All 67 votes were from the North, not a single seat from any other region. So it was not possible for them to form a government by the constitution they were operating at that time. So what then happened? People keep talking about Igbos this, Igbos that, Yoruba this, Yoruba less. What happened? From that thing you are looking at on your screen there, suddenly, Chief Obafemi Awolowo's party somehow convinced the people who had voted for the NCNC, the politicians who had won seats, not the people who voted for them, because the election was they had already been voted for. So they targeted those who had already won seats and convinced them to cross over to the AG. So if you removed 33 seats, yeah, that is 3 seats that the NCNC had won from Lagos and the West from 78, and then added that to the 53 that the action group won. Suddenly, NCNC was left like fish out of water. And suddenly, action group that didn't do the work. They were not the ones who convinced the voters to vote for the members that are won seats. But they went behind, manipulated, connived, and got them to just cross over somebody else's work. A nationalist group. Suddenly, Action Congress, if you add 33 to 53, that's like 86. See, it was politics. It was like they tell you politics is a game of numbers, okay? So what they are saying now, it doesn't even really matter how you get those numbers, which we are still seeing play out even now in Nigeria. But it should matter. There should be honor. There should be principle. Everything they say is a game. It's not a game. It's costing people's lives and livelihoods. Remember, the NPC had no seat in any other region. So they had to make deals. They're not shopping for, you know. NCNC was not in any position to form any government. But they're still there. Their members, what did they do? Okay, they chose to now go into an alliance with the NPC. So suddenly the NPC now, with the spread of the East and what they already had in the North, still lacked the West. You understand this? That is the keg of gunpowder that is being manufactured right now, that Nigeria is sitting on right now, with whatever is going on, ADC, NTC, APC, codeine, caffeinol, Panadol. Copy, screenshot this result, keep it. I want to check something with you later. Okay? So what does NPC do in order to have that majority to form a government? By that time, Chief Awolowo, when I said is the 8 seats from the North that sent him to jail, NPC didn't want any party campaigning in the North. The North was like a conquered territory, you know, nobody, they're in charge, nobody should come there. Chief Obafemi Awolowo defied that and went campaigning in the Middle Belt, which was what caused the Tiv problem. Most of those 8 seats were from the Tiv environment, the present-day Benue Plateau environment, and some part of the Northeast. Now, that was treason for the NPC. And then he himself too, there were issues about his conduct as the premier, financial issues, accountability issues. Remember, we're discussing accountability here. There was a commission, they found him guilty, and all. One thing led to the other. This was 1959. This result was 3 days after I was born, me. Did I know anything about it at that time? No. Neither did I know anything about the Civil War, really, as war when it eventually got started in 1967. How old was the baby? So we are not like the people who don't know when they were born, who have 3 birthdays, who don't know where they. And look, please, you can't move forward with such kind of issues and individuals. It's not possible. If I forged my way to get to any place, I will forge my way to remain there and forge for other people to join me so that we have a critical mass, so nobody is talking about anybody forging anything. That's exactly the situation Nigeria is now. If they are telling you that forged educational certificates are no longer grounds now for disqualifying anybody from. Come on. I decided to take you through this results for you to see, for you to feel my pain. Yes, my pain. I don't know about you, so I can't talk about you. I'm talking about my pain. General Basanjo wrote a book, said, because I'm involved. Ojukwu himself eventually wrote, because I'm concerned. I wrote Biafra Lest We Forget. There's a chapter in it that says, because I am affected. I'm the victim. And those who inflicted the pains I went through are still coming to insult me the more by telling some cock and bull stories that shouldn't matter. Somebody that has been going around the world, going around Nigeria, say he's doing pray for Nigeria. And you're writing a book at 92 telling lies. It's not good, sir. I would respected you so much, so much. Me, yeah. I'm like, oh no, General, why did they do this? Meanwhile, in case you guys are, those of you who are forgotten, I don't know. General Gowon, till date, has been the longest serving head of state in Nigeria, whether civilian or military. What did he do? What was that? And he wasn't preparing to leave, according to what his colleagues have written about. He was there busy enjoying, sharing oil blocks, oil wells, making deals, living large, politicized the military, divided the country, heaped hatred. If he's saying this about Ojukwu now, 60 years after, how many years after Ojukwu has died? Then you can just then imagine you don't even have to imagine. Check his videos. Go Google President General Gowon's statements, conferences, the videos are bound on YouTube. If you say that those were because there was a war, what about now? And you're talking healing. You're talking not opening new wounds. You've opened it all. And unfortunately, sir, you are going to live with it. You've done it. You've written the book already. It's there. Our children, our grandchildren that are around now could be taken in by the lies there. We are alive. We're alive. We're informed. We're enlightened. We're educated. You are better off not writing that book. Even in spite of those of us saying, you own it, you are better off not writing that book. You have just held your peace. And then, my main man, would that, because, well, my response on some of the social media posts I have had to respond to concerning that, still, I don't think he said this. I don't believe he can say this. In his own case, I can say, well, it is old age, because that's not in his character. At least speech-wise, not the Maradona thing. General Babangida reports that he gave a speech asking northern leaders, not Nigerian leaders, that people are dying off in the north. Elders actually said that report. But when I read it, I said, this General Babangida can't, no, it's not, this is not his style of, am I right? Am I wrong? children are dying. Defenseless mothers, sisters, wives, grandmothers, grandfathers, sons, husbands, brothers are dying. Some gruesomely killed in line of duty without being combatants in anything. We are talking about elders who should do something to unify the North. We're still talking about that divisiveness, North, South, East, West. And that is why, for as long as this program runs, say until it happens, still asking, who is afraid of a referendum? Even what is shaping up now, even if it does happen, it's just be a start in terms of the healing. There's another book I want you guys to go look for. We'll be talking books. But we have to come to it. Then we can get in with the program. Just putting things out of the way. Sorry. There's another book. Somebody sent it to me and I opened my mouth. I thought I knew everything. Sorry. I thought I knew enough. Well, this book was written by a Yoruba lawyer. Dele Ogun. He titled it The Culprits. Please look for it. I've not bought it. I'm going to order it. I've not read it. But I read a review. And that review made me to go looking for it. The person who wrote it is a northerner. And he obviously read it targeting the Hausa-speaking northerner. That review said every Hausa, inside of the review, every Hausa person needs to read this book. I'm like, no. Every Nigerian needs to read this book. Preferably before the next election, if it does ever hold. So that we understand that all this cosmetic party naming, cross-carpeting, it's not going to cut it. I have been on that march, on that, please, whoever is in charge, whoever, and I said it that this present administration is actually in the best position to do that. That is to transition Nigerian back to regional governance. That's the only solution to anything that's going. Not anybody, not whoever wins the election, even if it's Obi and Kwankwaso, they can't solve the problem. They can only get started on the spectrum of solutions, of healing. That can be the last bus stop. It's not. And for the records, in my opinion, is it that election and that administration, if people choose to be sensible and choose to think Nigeria, if they were to conduct free and fair election, Nigerians who want to be on Kwankwaso, there's no story about it. Every other thing is that it's making them look bad by the opposition. Well, not opposition, by the government, by the party in government. But if they were to once think Nigeria, they would avoid what is loading up. It's not going to hear it in my mouth. It's not from me. I will play you a video now. You'll hear. Again, I'm going to play a video again. We played in this program before, on this program before. We're going to play it again so that maybe when we used it previously, people things were like, no, but things are crystallizing in certain ways now, so you have better understand. An Obi and Kwankwaso administration is the best opportunity you are going to get for an interim government. Because the way things are shaping up, that is where Nigeria is headed. But politicians, you can do yourselves a favor by stopping to heat up the system and conduct a free and fair election, they'll get into office. This guy says it's going to be 4 years. Whether he believes, whether he means it or not, whether it's not his character. We've not seen anything. We're talking accountability here. We've not seen anything to suggest that he says something and goes ahead to do some other thing. Even if he does, let it be the problem of the partnership they are building. But in my thinking, that's probably the best opportunity of an interim government. To now, you don't stop. You don't stop. Nigerians, politicians, don't stop. To my mind, this is the time to start negotiating now with them. Then the populace, the electorate, this is a time to begin to demand, not ask for, demand for a referendum. Even if that election does go ahead and they do get, Obi and Kwankwaso do get to become the government, well, get into governance, working to transition Nigeria back to regional governance. The greed that had been enshrined in the center is what's killing Nigerians today. Call it by whatever name. Is the greed to hold on to the center, to control the center, to hold on to natural resources. Unfortunately, and I've said, unfortunately and unfortunately, there is no region in Nigeria that doesn't have a natural resource of note. None. So why this craziness about oil? Oil is not even the thing that gives you the most money now. I don't think it is. But why the obsession with oil? The reason for the obsession is the people who are controlling the oil wealth. They are the northern oligarchs, the monarchs in the north, far away from the devastated and deprived people of the Niger Delta. Accountability. Last episode, we talked about, we just mentioned it in person, somehow. The innocent teacher that was beheaded in Oyo State, southwest Nigeria. What did he do? We mentioned that one of the president's spokespersons, Gabashew, said they should not call such people bandits and terrorists. They are common criminals. And we asked the question. So even the word criminal now is a nice thing. Normalize it, but Nigerians should just know that they're criminals. So criminality is a normal thing. It's not really. Beheading is joined the to-do list of criminals. They kept quiet when they were beheading people in the Northeast, in Borno, Yobe, and all of that. Kept quiet. We had videos. We were shocked until we were the shock. Until the videos, well, it wasn't just now. So you now want to federal character, beheading, it's criminality. So they should go ahead. And this comes hot in the heels of somebody said, no, they are not going anywhere. Gumi, and he's still walking the streets free. Meanwhile, Nnamdi Kanu is in prison. He's a terrorist for saying, don't kill us. We want to defend ourselves. From the people who are coming, they did not declare war to the Nigerian state. No. It's to whoever terrorists, bandits are coming to their communities, killing women and men who are gone to farm, killing people who are kidnapping and all of that. Who protect us? Say, no, he's a criminal. Gumi is there. Yoruba, there's a Yoruba adage that says, the witch, advertised yesterday night, and the child died this morning. So who killed the child? Gumi, just within the last week. No, they can't stop. They are not, what are they doing that is wrong? They're not doing anything. They're only just kidnapping so that they can get money and then buy weapon. Weapon to do what? Who buy weapon? Who? And Gumi is free in Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu is in jail. And then suddenly, what then happened? Descending from the north, the middle belt, into the southwest, into a community, peaceful community, took children, their teachers from school, went ahead, beheaded one of the. I'm sorry, I have shed tears each time I see that picture of that man. Your people in your government, people, your leaders, the people who are in charge, not supposed to, people who are in charge of protecting lives and property are telling you should normalize wickedness. You should normalize criminality. Is not criminality is criminality. If it's not so, it won't called criminality. So we're bringing it to a level where it's acceptable. Criminality is acceptable. And then we have added one more thing in their list of to do, beheading. Gumi, they are not going anywhere. They will live with you. You better learn how to live with them, or else it will be. It didn't stop there. Government should put them in payroll of the federal government. That agitation led the military and the government, okay, Operation Safe Corridor. You get people who have been killing people, who have been beheading people. You say they are repentant. You're integrating them into the society, back into the society. You even send the results. It didn't end there. The military themselves, the military chiefs, generals, NSA, Chief Secretary, National Security Advisor, they are our brothers. The same narrative. So who is the choir conductor? Who is the puppeteer? Who is directing these people to all fall in line? Then, Chief of Defense Staff, their prodigal sons. And then Gabashew, finally now, they are just common criminals. As if Gabashew is reading from a script, which I believe he is, it's my opinion. Yep. If he's not reading from a script, how come the Nigerian military are now countering the Oyo State governor who said these are criminals and terrorists? These are bandits and terrorists. The military say no, they are common. How did you know they are common criminals? Okay, you know them, you knew them, so you know. Can you see this confusion? Not confusion, it's wickedness. And it's at this time that General Gowon chose to release his book. It's at this time that President General Babangida chose to make the statement that's been alleged online that this time. But make no mistake about it. I'm going to play you a video now. Like I said, we played it before. Play it again. A respectable northern Nigerian politician telling you who, we're talking accountability, okay? Yes, sight and sound of accountability, yes. Telling you who your present president is in terms of safeguarding Nigeria and Nigerians. He's not interested, he's interested in himself. They will kill me. You want to become a president, yes. If you are safe, if you make Nigerians safe, Nigerians will be the ones to protect you anywhere you go. You don't need bulletproof cars. There are leaders who have shown it. Even in present day Nigeria. We'll get to that. But I want to play you that video. Listen to it. When we come back, okay? We'll look at issues that are arising from that video. Okay, so don't go. Thank you.
Tinubu, it's still ringing in my ear. In the name of Allah, Hajia, in the name of Allah, accept this appointment. I said, sir, I will not accept the appointment until you tell me what you have for us up north. He invited me to London. I went to London. I sat with him for 2 hours. Most of the time he was sleeping. I asked him what he had for us up north because we have extremely serious security problems. He told me that he didn't have anything. I said, sir, you mean that you want to be president and you don't even have a blueprint? He said he doesn't have a blueprint. He doesn't have a blueprint according to him because if I have a blueprint, I'm quoting him now, then I might be killed. And because I'll be stepping on too many toes. I said, sir, in that position that you are looking for, you don't think of death. You don't think of assassination. Anyway, that is gone. But I've been vindicated yesterday. Nigerians should be focused. We have a very, very serious problem. Nigeria is at the brink, especially as it concerns security. You must have an enabling environment in order to do anything. So you cannot take someone that is virtually senile and another person that has been associated on several occasions with funding terrorism. That is Kashim Shettima. Kashim Shettima, we should not forget Kabiru Sokoto. Kabiru Sokoto was one of the most wanted terrorists, and he was found and arrested in his house. Let us understand and let us not forget, this terrorism, this banditry, this carnage is not just happening by mistake. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. A multi-billion dollar industry because it takes a lot of money on defense budget. It has a lot to do with the sale of drugs. It has a lot to do with mining and illegal bunkering and illegal and illicit mining. And look at the areas that are generally affected by this. Take the Northeast, for instance. In the Northeast, you have the blue diamond. That is a strategic mineral. You have oil at the Chad Basin that is being explored right now, but illegally. You have Zamfara. If you go to Zamfara, Zamfara has more gold than Ghana. Zamfara's gold is being traded in Dubai and other parts of the country. There is a market called Nigerian gold in Dubai. Go and check. So who is doing this mining? Most times they are the governors, the people in power. They are the ones doing it in connivance. In connivance with foreign mercenaries. Can you remember? Have we forgotten when they said there is a no-fly zone in Zamfara? Why should there be a no-fly zone? There isn't even an airport in Zamfara. But aircrafts land and they take off from Zamfara. And let me tell you something else. In Zamfara, every container that comes from China ends up in Zamfara. You know why? Because in Zamfara, the soil in Zamfara has all the strategic minerals that you can think of. So when the containers come in from China, they land they end in Zamfara, and a bag of Zamfara soil is today sold at 5,000. So they need to displace the people to allow them to continue with their mining. I mean, it's multifaceted. And these are people that one has been severally accused of harboring terrorists, even recently. And why? Let us ask, why should Shettima be visiting, along with his governor, be visiting and making a solidarity with a police officer that was being tried for drug trafficking? Why? So you begin to put these things together and you begin to understand why Nigerians must retrieve their country. We can't allow this thing to happen.
Welcome back. Need I say more? If you missed anything she said, no problem. This video will be available on the channel. You could go back and watch it again. You can fast forward it to that. Or you could just Google, you find that video. It's available online. That's why we got it. Okay? We didn't create it. See the linkages. A president who has very fictitious backgrounds, to say the least, to put it mildly. A president who is only concerned about himself, I don't want to die. No, nobody is saying anybody should. If you do the right thing, if you put things properly in place, come on, Nigerians will stand up for you. But if you have not done well, you can't force yourself to remain. No, you will blow up this factory by yourself. I'm not the one. That's not coming from me to blow up this factory. It's not me. You hear another person now. Incidentally, these are all individuals who we're talking accountability. We're talking sides and sound of accountability. People are giving you account of who your president is, who the present administration has been, is, and is still wanting to continue to be. His party members, his associates, some of whom we should say, well, yeah, love their people, whoever their people are, love Nigeria, because Nigeria needs that person who will say, I love Nigeria, I am the one to take care of this. I'm the one who's in love with you, Nigeria. I will play you Onyeka Onwenu's song. Well, I think it's inside our in-house video. Okay, she's the artist we focused on today. Okay, and another female, northern female APC party member had this to say. Listen to this video again. We'll come back.
I'm really not happy. I thought APC was really ready for victory. We did not know how to manage victory, and I don't think we were ready for governance.
Have you given up on APC?
I'm just highly disappointed. Very disappointed. I actually thought that, you know, there are some places I can't go to. During Buhari's time, second tenure, they broke my windscreen. Because they said, oh, you promised us, now you're enjoying your inside car. You know, before, when you go to traffic lights, you see them begging, using their hands like this. Now they will knock on your window. Now they will snatch whatever it is.
There's a storm.
Oh yeah, there's a storm that is coming. You know, people
and it could consume the APC.
People would think that, oh, okay, oh, it's the North. The North, they don't go to school. There's insecurity. If it blows up in the North, Nigeria is gone. So we have to fix it.
As a Northerner, what is the North saying about Tinubu?
Honestly, I don't have good reviews. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Do you think the North will vote for Tinubu?
Maybe 30%. Or less. Or less.
It's going to be worse than the last election, 2023?
Oh yeah, it's going to be. It's going to be.
What do you think the chances of Tinubu winning this election on a scale of 1 to 10?
It is going to be the toughest battle that he will ever see.
So it's not me saying something is coming. No. Even when I have written it 16 years ago, in this book behind me, 16 years ago, if they can't manipulate it, if they can't keep it down, they will scatter it. They will prefer for it to scatter. So long as I'm not the one in charge, let it scatter. Nigeria has finally arrived at that place. Because you have people who are in government who don't care about them, who are so detached from the people. You heard the last speaker. She's afraid to be in the midst of the people. She's afraid to go amongst her own people. They were begging nicely before. Now they will open. Now they will snatch things. The person who is clapping for kidnappers and terrorists and bandits to say they have to kidnap children, and that's a father. That's a cleric. The person who is saying that is, there's a proverb where my mother comes from. Say when they are carrying the corpse of a stranger in a procession, it's like they are carrying a log of wood. It doesn't concern you. It's getting closer and closer. People, that's the traffic. And the traffic, children, the Almajiris, before that will say nicely. First of all, the tourists have found them useful. Look at those pictures a couple of months ago of children in military camouflage. A whole lot of them being trained as terrorists. That's an industry that they have already devised a pipeline of new supplies. And those new supplies are readily available there in the streets of the north. The Almajiris. We can go ahead and begin to blame their fathers and their mothers and all. The issue is that problem is there on the street. Those who are benefiting from it, those who know the reasons for which they created those, or who have seen them as some useful tools, did not think that the President Goodluck Jonathan, that they are not going to, that's another no. Well, I still don't want to believe that he would condescend, and I don't think so. I don't think he would. Yes, I want to be president. The messing up will be mad. They messed you up and embarrassed you out of office. It became a byword in Nigeria. Nigerians still like to say, well, they cheated this man. They are coming out one by one to confess, and they have now crawled back to you. And what did you forget in Aso Rock, sir, that you want to go and collect? He will not be good. Even if it is a register, so that I can now say I'm supporting the, don't, please, sir, don't enjoy. Listen to your wife. I saw a video she made to say, no, I'm not going. I don't know. There's nothing in Aso Rock I want. Listen to your wife, sir. Don't listen to them. Listen to that clergyman that said, leave them to sort themselves out. What are you looking for again? You've been the president. God has blessed you. You got to where you didn't dream that you get to. President of Nigeria. You have been. So what are you looking for? The same thing we've been saying to the present occupant of that presidency now. Sir, you dreamt of becoming a president. Be a leader. Be a father. Don't contest. Heal Nigeria. No. I have everything. Okay. But you had your party members, both women, on your side were on your side of the divide in terms of party politics. They're telling you the truth. The Lagos media cartel, members of the Lagos media cartel with whom you have surrounded yourself as advisors, are not telling you the same. Owambe, area boy, party, lagbo, nothing. They are deceiving you, sir. We're going to play you now our in-house video. I'm looking for an escape route to stop appearing here every Friday. I'm too emotional for this stuff. Yeah. The pain is too much. The pain is too much. Writing this book helped me a bit to heal a little bit. And I was thinking I'll be able to receive more healing and help some more people receive more healing that are still living, who, you know, experience it and are still living to hear what wickedness people are still perpetrating against the southeast of Nigeria and the peoples of the southeast of Nigeria. And by extension now, against all Nigerians. They don't care anymore. Before it was a particular, no, because it was oil they found there. They kill all of them so we can have the oil. Now they found gold in your place. Kill all of them so we can have gold. They found blue diamond. Kill all of them so we can have the gold. Lithium, whatever. Kill all of them so we can have the same measure. In case you didn't know, the same measure with which the evil Southeasterners are. That's what the confusion, the crisis in the Southeast is not created by the Igbos. It's Nigerian military. By those who are still the puppeteers, who are still manipulating the system, still just trying to create a crisis in the Southeast. By positioning, somehow, isn't it heartwarming that somehow Sari Dokubo has kept quiet in the past 2 weeks or so? They positioned him in the south flank. Armed him. He has armed. He's armed. Not he has armed. He has an army. Killing innocent people in the south is that just defend ourselves. No, don't kill us. No, we can't just lie down and roll us over. No. Please, yes, that's right. That's human right. Of association, of existence, right to life. So this is not just a program, create content. No, I'm inside this because if those guys wrote those books to say I'm involved, I'm concerned. This one I said something and allegiance. Allegiance to your puppet masters that have just been manipulating you and controlling you even into your 90s. No. Janagon was even so confused at the presentation of his book. He didn't know who the Sultan of Sokoto was, whether it was the grandson or the son of. And that's the person writing a book that we should take seriously. We have produced a video in the house. We do that every week. Mr. Peter will be an engineer, Rabiu Kwankwaso. For me, you can't force me not to believe you. I don't. So if you like, for me, I kept quiet. Throughout this program. Go and check past episodes and all. The first time I mentioned his name on this live stream podcast, in how many episodes, in how many videos we have, it's probably the last 2 weeks or so. But now, I'm here to tell you that, to declare that, in my opinion, the combination of Mr. Peter Obi and Engineer Rabiu Kwankwaso is the best option to heal Nigeria. In all sense now. We've shown you what people are saying. Remember, we're saying accountability, size, and sound this episode. We've shown you what people are saying about your present president. We'll also take you, after the in-house video, to show you to see what people have said or what they themselves are saying about themselves, especially what people are saying about them. I'm talking about Engineer Kwankwaso and Mr. Peter Obi. If the Nigerian government had not been able to, they want, Malam El-Rufai, look at, they frightened people so much so that even emirs and senior civil servants, that he must have helped, that his friends, his families, even the monarchs under him, are not even confident to go and stand for him as surety for bail. That's in Nigeria. So it should tell all of you that are stepping forward, that have moved forward, to mind what you do in the present. You are there for a period of time. You can't be there forever. Nigeria is not Cameroon, can never be. Nigeria is not Zambia. Uganda, sorry, can never be. Can never be. Go and check what, when I say can be Cameroon, can be Uganda. Go and check their president, how long they have been. There are geriatrics who don't even know where they are, mostly, except with the help of that. That can be Nigeria. So this administration will end. But this is a time to let it end nicely. Healing. This is time to negotiate your get out of jail free card. Hold it. If President Jonathan is truly, he wouldn't be doing it with a clear eye, saying he's coming out to contest. They would have shown him something. You did this or you did that. So, no, I'm just saying. I don't know. They would have shown, even the killing in Oyo, I'm not sure it was just a happenstance. Why? That way, gruesomely, that way. Let's show you we're serious. Shey Makinde, why did you come out and say you want to contest for presidency? Maybe the part of the conditions for releasing those innocent Nigerians will be promise that you will come down. You will not. You say you will not contest, or promise you are going to support, going to step down and say vote for this person. Don't put it beyond these politicians. Yes, using the lives of innocent Nigerians as bait. Alleged. Yep. Else, why would a state governor be saying no? He has his own report. He would have his own intelligent report about what has happened, what's going on. And then you have some clowns waiting for forming. Now, this is a time forming vigilante. You have some other clowns saying they have to have a security conference, because those are the things that they do. Gather one place, they give them money, book them inside hotels, and they stay and talk nonsense. They are killing your citizens. All you want to do is gather in a place and talk. Which brand of talk? Unfortunately, that's why they can't handle the Southeasterners, the ones you call the Igbos now, the ones you now want to label as Biafra. Because no, you can't deal with them that way. You say no, no. You want to talk Sunday, boy. The credit South Eastern Security Network. You said they are terrorists. You are pursuing them, even yeah. Because the vigilante group to say, don't come to this side. Why must a particular group in Nigeria be given free will to enter anywhere and kill anybody? No. The Yorubas went to sleep, believing that the person you have there, we think it's not for you. We said this severally. President Tinubu is not a Nigerian president. He's not a Yoruba president. He's a Tinubu president. Tinubu and co. Tinubu and boys president. He doesn't care about you. Has never cared about anybody else. Himself, his wife. Selfish and greedy to the core. I have my personal experiences documented. Several episodes ago, we had an episode on corruption. The individual who at that time they had pushed and pushed him to become permanent secretary, Ministry of Health. After that episode of Ministry of Health on corruption, that was narrated, he's sitting with me, demanding a bribe, which I refused to give, and for which they, till tomorrow, Tinubu's administration in Lagos through the Lagos State HIV/AIDS Control Agency, sat on 50% of a World Bank, Global Health World Bank grant for a project that we bidded for, got selected, implemented to the fullest. To the fullest because they still brought the World Bank to my office to say this is one of our best performing projects in half one. Some people, some friends, some of them in the government now wrote, which was your problem? How much is this money? You're embarrassing. I said, embarrassed. He said, the Nigeria's problem is because people who know, people who are in the know, either lie to cover things up or refuse to stay quiet so that, and they get emboldened to do more. Around that episode, I think about 2 months later, they removed him. I won't say it's because of my program that they removed him, but they know they had to, because I would have done some more episodes about some more issues. They removed him. So that shows that when civil society actively engage with facts, with figures, people, so long as you yourself that is saying, you don't have skeletons in your own cupboard. If I had given them that 15%, I suffered. My organization suffered. My businesses suffered big time that time. I had to go borrow money to finish that World Bank grant, World Bank project. And they still had the guts to bring the World Bank to my office to say, my staff were like, tell these World Bank people that they've not paid us. I said, don't worry. I've not died. Have I not finished the program? They didn't pay. They have not paid. I said, I'm going to sue. They will. I meant it. But then, when they removed him, yeah. Somebody said, Richie, but that's your, come on. That's not even up to $3,000 now. I tell you. He said, that's the problem. Everybody is not a thief that's talking in billions and trillions. I'm a poor man. My sweat, real sweat, things, small things I do to get small. And you say, come and take the small and say, I should give you. What did you? I was the only one who didn't. There were about 18 or 22 organizations that were given grant for that half one. It was only me, only my organization that all of the other ones gave those 15%. Money that's not your own. So if anybody is talking about they are borrowing money now, they're using it to do whatever, it didn't start today. That's what I'm saying. Even the person that they replaced, Dr. Olusegun Ogboyewe, was his assistant that time. But I congratulated her on my LinkedIn page. I know her. The present PAMSEC, she didn't have a meeting with me one-on-one. I picked Ogboyewe because he was the one that sat and had a meeting with me. And I told him, no, okay, give me the name of the person, give me the name I should put on the check. Say, you want to put people in trouble, so you know it's trouble. Accountability. That's the government you have power. If we didn't bring that up, if they might remove him from one that they will give him another post quietly, keep him there. Because he's already groomed, yeah, I use the word groom. He's already groomed in their, looting, practices. Then you will say him name. I'm here waiting. Anytime I see that name come out for any political post or any public office appointment, I will raise this issue again. He's corrupt. He's not fit to. If civil society stays on public officials that way, Nigeria will not be in this mess because people are just over what they will eat. It cost me. Nigeria is more important. Our integrity is more important. The safety of Nigeria and Nigerians is more important than my own personal safety. Why am I here? Okay, so we'll play you our in-house video. When we return, you will hear about Peter Obi and Engineer Rabiu Kwankwaso. You've been hearing there's so much. Sure, there's so much. There's so much. Like we say, do the right things. People, I've been reading some banters online, some posts online to say opponents, opposition parties are withdrawing from the gubernatorial election in Oyo State. Why won't they withdraw? How do you confront a performer? So perform. Your good work would speak for you. That's what we're saying here. And you have examples of it in the past. You have examples of it in the present. And incidentally, Governor Oti is one of those who is the sight and the sound of say, Peter Obi, this is what it is. Yes, he's alive, he's there. So do things that people can stand up and speak for you. You don't even need to talk. Let's watch our in-house people. And we'll come back.
A teacher named Michael Onwenu went to work on May 15, 2026. Bandits stormed his school in Oyo State, southwest Nigeria, took him and 45 others hostage, beheaded him 2 days later, posted the video on the internet, and are still walking free. If that does not make you angry enough to watch this video to the end, nothing will. This is episode 3 of the quest for a safe Nigeria. Please subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss a video in this series. Michael Onwenu's case is one of many. Painfully, devastatingly many. Communities across northern Nigeria have been living this reality for years, and now it has arrived in the southwest. The geography of this crisis is expanding while the government's response contracts into press statements, condolence visits, and new advisory positions that change nothing on the ground. And yet this same government has introduced new tax laws asking Nigerians to contribute even more to a system that is visibly failing them. Accountability needs to produce safety. Safety of life and property of Nigerians within an enabling environment would enable Nigerians to be productive, to then be in positions to pay taxes. Unfortunately, the sights and sound of an unaccountable Nigeria do not stop at security failures. Last week, a video went viral showing a man in a Nigerian party primary election openly inflating the vote count of one candidate and deflating that of another, in plain sight, on camera. He has not been arrested. Nobody has been sanctioned. The primary results will stand. This is what the electoral process that is supposed to produce Nigeria's next leaders looks like from the inside. Communities continue to bury their dead after preventable massacres. A former governor wanted for allegedly stealing billions is holding campaign rallies. A military helicopter hovered over an active massacre without engaging. New titles keep being announced while the same failures compound. These are the sights and sound of a government that answers to nobody. The late Onyeka Onwenu understood what Nigeria needed long before most were willing to say it. Born in Port Harcourt on January 31, 1952, she was a singer, journalist, activist, and one of the most fearless Nigerian voices of her generation. Dubbed the Elegant Stallion and the Queen of Songs, she used her platform to entertain as well as promote unity. Her love song, I'm the One, carried a declaration that Nigeria's political conversation desperately needs. That genuine care for something changes everything, and that the person who truly loves what they are responsible for governs it differently from the person who simply occupies it. Nigeria has seen what accountability looks like when a leader actually means it. Mr. Peter Obi left Anambra State's treasury fuller than he met it, cut dependence on federal allocations, and built infrastructure that still stands as evidence. Engineer Rabiu Kwankwaso walked into Kano State and built schools at a scale that changed the state's human development story in ways you can still measure today. These are records, documented and verifiable, the kind of records that the current administration simply cannot produce when asked what it has done for the people paying its salaries. Nigeria has a serious accountability deficit, and that deficit has a cost now being measured in growing insecurity. Every Nigerian who is tired of that cost has exactly one tool powerful enough to change it, and that tool expires on Election Day 2027. The question is whether enough Nigerians will pick it up. Our full live stream goes much deeper on all of these. Watch it at May Nigeria Never Happened to You and bring your questions. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with everyone you know with interest in Nigeria's development and well-being. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next video. May Nigeria happen for all Nigerians and for friends of Nigeria.
I'm the one, I'm the one, I'm the one, I'm the one. Do you know who the one is? The one is Peter Obi and Engineer Rabiu Kwankwaso. No one group in Nigeria. From what you saw, from how we started this episode, from that result of 1959 to the permutations that they failed to manage well, that led to crisis by 66, well, 62, actually, that result, that election, 1962, I was in prison, jailed, treason. Right now, Nnamdi Kanu is in prison for treason. For doing what? He's not even a politician. He's just an activist. The first time anybody, you know, I don't join groups. I get convinced about the things that I believe by research, by observing, by, you know, and I'm like, yeah, okay. So I'm not about groups. I'm not about tribe, not about religion. And Nigeria's issue is not tribe, it's not religion. It's people manipulating those things. Yes, they found the right formula to manipulate those things. And unfortunately, the unsuspecting populace have been falling for such. It's time you woke up. It's time you woke up. It could only be somebody who has a genuine interest in people and his country that would have brought himself up to say, look, go online. There's so many videos abound, so many content abound about Peter Obi so many years ago, a decade and a half ago, going around, traveling around, speaking to Nigerians outside Nigeria, in schools, in colleges, in community programs outside Nigeria, taking them through the good, the bad, the ugly, but still encouraging them, don't stay away, get involved. Went himself, he didn't need to, he was a successful businessman already. Went to this college to study this, went to that, and shared an experience why he now decided to say, because of a college professor who said, okay, you seem a good man, but you can't do this if you still stay away. Like those of us, there's nothing, I'm not sure, I don't know what anybody will convince me with now. It's okay, I should come and go and take a political appointment. He risked it. Risked his name, risked his profession, risked his business, risked everything, presented himself. Not fighting, appealing. We can be better. We can do this better. The established system, the establishment fought him, are still fighting him. Look at the insane salaries that past governors and senators or whatever are being paid. Who started it? Please, which states? Tell me in comments. Share in comment. Tell me. Who do you think started the issue of paying past governors and salaries and retirement, whatever, benefits? Who? The person in the presidency now. Go and look at how much or what a past governor of Lagos State gets. The other ones that copied him, copied Lagos. You are dealing with an individual that all he had advanced is self and propagating and perpetrating the development of a group of Nigerians who are leeches on the economy, leeches on the well-being of Nigeria. So you now have somebody who, after ruling for 8 years in Anambra State, paid the pensions. Wait. You won't hear it from me. I'll play you a video so that you can confirm the issue of whether he paid pension, whether he's owing anybody. If you are arguing, argue with your phone online. Go and search. Go. You think if all those things you're saying are lies, that you don't have, you have one or two people coming out to say one thing or the other. Like somebody said, why the teachers go on strike? And he answered you. If I buy ambulances and put it in places and I can't find it, well, yes, we're still talking accountability. Okay? Listen, watch this next video. We'll come back.
I said it last time I met you. I told you I was able to clear my gratuity and pension because I met an 80-year-old woman, Miss Cindy Bay, who came to where I was worshiping in church and said to me, leave the church.
Wow.
God will not hear your prayers. I'm being owed gratuity and pension since I retired. And you're here.
What are you praying for?
And I said, Mama, can I come to your house? He said, don't come to my house. Go and pay me. And in the evening, I went to her house.
You as a governor went to visit her?
I said, find me this woman's house. And I went to her house. She wasn't expecting me. And I came in there and he said, I told you not to come. And I said, Mama, how can't I come? Look at what you told me. And we sat down. He said to me, if I had known you were coming, I would have cooked, I would have done this, I would have done that. I said, don't worry. He said, look at, I wasn't prepared. Look at it, I'm just eating corn. I said, Ma, we'll eat this corn with you. So I took the corn, ate with her. And she told me something that it was so very, 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 very sad. When he finished, and I say it every day, anybody who is owing gratuity and pension, there's something wrong with the person. Because you're owing people a difficult time of their age and when they have less opportunity. So I said, Mama, I'm going to clear it. And I'm happy that I paid off 30-something billion of gratuity and pension before I left. Okay. I was not owing anybody.
Well, thank you. It's just one gratuity. There are so many videos. There's so many videos about people, you know. Some other people have come up to say, what did he do? He didn't do anything. He said he saved money. Why did he save money? Why didn't he? If I go on playing you videos of what people have said, the evidence that Mr. Peter Obi did specific landmark things in Anambra State as a governor. We won't live here in the next 10 hours. But this is a structured program that has to end at a particular time. I'm going to play you another video now. We are talking about sights and sounds of accountability. Remember, that's what this is about. Of Governor Alex Oti. confirming that indeed Mr. Peter Obi left certain amounts of money and what he helped him to do with those, which had not stopped benefiting Anambra up until, I think in that video he said the last one was to mature 2023. That's like 3 years ago. Peter Obi have left governance for how many years ago? But he invested for Anambra. That's the kind of person that Nigeria and Nigerians deserve or should want. But then again, before I play that video, you see, Mr. Peter Obi and Engineer Kwankwaso have done what they should do, what they could do. They've gone through so many obstacles and booby traps that have been set for them for them not to even appear on the ballot at all. They have maneuvered, outwitted some of the people who think they are smart to arrive on the ticket of the NDC. They've done what they can, could, or should do. Make themselves available. They are not going to be the ones to vote for themselves. Speak out the more about them. Don't hide. Support somebody. The people who don't want you to talk, they want you to talk about who they support. They don't want you to come up to say, no, this person is a better alternative. No, they don't want you to do that. So they are shutting you up. They're telling you don't know what you are saying. You're unpatriotic, you're tribal, you're this one. You must believe in their looting team, in their gangster team. That's must believe in them. That all they have done all through their public life is loot, run a gangster, wrong gangster administrations, as it were. It's who they say, not who the people say. Familiar? It's not different from what Awo did in 1959. Somebody won election, worked, got the electorate to vote for certain people. You went behind, connived, and convinced them to leave the party that the people voted them. So, you see, camera, camera, Nadia. That betrayal has not left Nigeria. There are many things Nigerians have to pray for, not they go on pray for Nigeria. Many things that the leaders, people, leadership, politicians in Nigeria have to really pray and intentionally choose to behave differently. That's still haunting Nigeria. If they have left an NCNC, they win. Yorubas voted for NCNC, Igbos voted. Some Northerners didn't vote. Maybe they will go into that alliance in strength, not beggarly. Strength. Coalition governments happen all over the world every time. Okay? If NCNC had won, they will have the majority, but then they still needed the NPC. So they would have gone into coalition with the NPC, not in the way they eventually did. They would have gone into that coalition from a position of strength. Maybe Zeke wouldn't have emerged as a ceremonial leader. Maybe if that distrust, that hatred, that Igbos this, Igbos that did not happen, Nigeria would have developed beyond what it is today. Suspicion, hatred, distrust hasn't stopped. Governors who are voted for in other political parties by their people to represent them in, you went back, promised them, cross to our party. Anything you do, we'll cover it up. You crossed over. But you have the governor, you don't have the people. Please remember that. And you are rubbing it on their faces. So we have everything. No, you don't have. Okay? So let's listen to Governor Oti endorse Mr. Peter Obi, his integrity, his foresightedness, his saving, his productive qualities.
The reasons I want to speak about him is that in the media, there has been accusations and counter-accusations about the money he left in Anambra State. And as a participant at that time in 2013-2014, I would like to again restate that Peter Obi actually left the money he said he left. And I had documented it in my back page article that I wrote some 2 years ago on the 8th of June 2020. I happened to be the CEO of Diamond Bank at that time, and he came to my office. He wanted to leave the money in cash, and we said no. We strategized and said we'll invest the money in Euro bonds. I personally helped him exchange Naira to dollar, about $155 million, which were invested in the tier 2 capital of some of the banks, and then in some Euro bonds. Some of them have maturities up to 2023, so some of the monies have not matured.
You know what they say about likes? They say likes attract likes. Okay? Whilst our elders are doubling down on lies and divisive and, utterances and behaviors, I'm still interested in producing a documentary based on this book, Biafra, Lest We Forget. And the reason for that is, let's put things in pictures. Some of the people are individuals, real human beings we talked about, not phantoms that were the 92-year-old man is manufacturing and putting down the book. And people are clapping, giving him, donating money that he will use for what? Okay, we've launched a GoFundMe campaign to raise funds to produce the documentary on this book. What's even the reason why? What's my big issue about producing it? Yes, so people can hear, just like you've heard Dr. Alex Oti now, you've heard the other people who have testified about specific things. You will hear people who survived, who have lived through this pain over time, their own sides. It will not just, then you will see the issues I've raised, the stories I've narrated in the book come to life, even in those environments. Probably you'll see some after. It will be possible that within those communities, you'll have people who have evidence of the before that I don't have, that might not even be probably in any archives that are online. That's why I want to do this documentary. So I'm appealing to you, please support us, donate to help us, produce the documentary. And I need to state it here that the plan is always to produce this documentary for it to be ready by December, before the elections in general. And it will be in the public domain. I'm not going to sell it. But there, anybody can download it. It will be in small parts that people can download in episodes so that they can watch and delete so that it doesn't clog their devices, So it's not going to be sold. So I'm appealing to you, please donate to help us, support us to produce the documentary. You could also pick up a copy or copies of the book itself. Yesterday, some of my committee members on LinkedIn were like, oh, where would we get the book? When we're discussing General Gowon's book. Where do we have? It's there online. You can find it. Type my name, Richard Adewusi, you'll find my books. Then you click on this one you want. And I will tell you there are 2 editions. There are 2. The very first one, this is 2, which is the one we are pushing out, we have put out there. Now, the first one is still available there via Author House. This is available via Nostalgia Media Books. Okay, but go ahead, click order, click donate for GoFundMe. And I'm not threatening, please don't misunderstand what I'm going to say now, but everything has to have an end date. Okay, if by September we've not been able to raise how much we need, we have stated it there. When you click on the GoFundMe page that is on your screen, that you see on your screen, that you also find in the bio, in the description of this particular episode or the YouTube channel, you'll find that GoFundMe, the link to the GoFundMe campaign page there. If we're not able to raise the funds by the end of September, I will discontinue the project. It's not a threat. I'm just saying there has to be an end date. I can't go on endlessly. And we're saying September because then that gives us about maybe 2 months, okay, for production. We don't need more than that. We already have things outlined. Just the funds that are remaining for us to go ahead with the production. So please support us. Donate to the GoFundMe campaign so that we can have this. If the issues around Biafra are not important, Nnamdi Kanu will not be in jail. If the issues around Biafra are not important, General Gowon will not be writing a book and spreading deceptions and lies inside it. Nigeria has not walked away. Nigeria has not moved on from Biafra. It's far from it. Instead, the vultures of Biafra are circling around Nigeria. Still circling. So the populace, you need to be prepared. You need to know what are likely so that you can stand and say, no, this should not happen. So if anybody is asking you to take 1 bag of rice, you can vote for that. No, I'm not taking. This is not going to end well. I don't need your rice. To their faces, not take rice and go and vote. Don't take. Okay? Don't even take. All right? Don't take. All right? I'm going to take a few, well, not a few. We're going to look at comments by committee members before I play you the last video. The last video is going to be that interview by Engineer Rabiu Kwankwaso. So much, he unpacked so much in that interview. And I'll leave you, that's the video I will leave you with as we close. But I'm going to take comments and, contributions from committee members here. The first one here says, when a child is not changing, oh, no, sorry. Of course, I'm obviously looking at something else here. Okay, the first one here says, the plan of most Nigerians is to make money so they can leave the country if the current administration remains after the 2020. What do you say? Nigerians need to build Nigeria. Listen, but for the issue of threat to life, some of us will be in Nigeria. Yeah, it's threat to life. Every situation that arises in Nigeria, hardship or whatever, is an opportunity for people who have the capacity to think, to come up with ideas, can address that challenge, that situation. Yeah. At the risk of sounding immodest, I am one of those people. I don't run away from challenges and problems. I think about something that can help with that issue. Yeah. And I'm not the only one. There are many of us, and we're out. Most of us, not everybody. Nigeria still has a load of, look at the tech area. But what happens when they make a little, they leave the country and go to settle somewhere, either because of the taxation or because of one thing or the other. So you need a government that will create the enabling environment for people that can think, people that are creative, people that are productive to produce. Not a government where something will happen. Money is not even your own. You say, bring bribe. Okay? Running away because, you see, those Nigerians who, well, you are doing business, your business are done well. Like I said, every Nigerian, this issue of threat to life is what the problem is. Ask anybody that has left. That is not maybe because of economic reason, the person is looking for work or whatever. Many of us is not because of economic reasons in terms of we're hungry. No. It's threat to life. Directly or indirectly. Okay? So, what do I say to them? Work, campaign, vote a responsive, a humane administration into office. Once the issue of insecurity is sorted out in Nigeria, you will see a lot of Nigerians return to Nigeria. It doesn't stop whatever they would have started or invested in the places where they have gone to live. No. It will be a bridge. There will not be a bridge. Both ways. What they've learned, they can put here. What is available that is lacking wherever they are. It will be symbiotic. Yeah. Okay. I wonder how many more thousands of Nigerians are being killed like Michael Oyedokun, but just not being posted online. Very true. Very true. I share your pain. The person who shared this, who posted this. Very true. And the reason why that was posted is to make a statement. It's not ordinary, I'm saying it. It has everything to do with the governor and his political associations and all of that. That's a conspiracy theory. I don't think so. It's a statement. There's so many others are happening. We hear the stories. And do you know how many people would have been killed in the northern, whether northeast or northwest or north central part of Nigeria that same day? But this one is making you because of where it happened. So it's not like it's not just one thing that just happened after a long time. No. No. Okay? Remember again, it's still around that time, that same time that it's reported that the National Security Advisor has ordered the security agencies and soldiers not to report, encounters with terrorists. They should not post online their encounters anymore so that they don't embarrass the government. Remember, so this one in Oyo also embarrassed the governor with a Nigerian lives, because they beheaded that man. But there are some rumors that, there are some alleged reports, there are some reports online to say that they've been released. I've not seen any conclusive anything to suggest that. I'm not sure. I've not checked today. It's still morning here. I've not checked today to see if the Oyo State government has made any. I've not received anything from the many people who would have sent me such content. There's none. One of the things causing lack of accountability is how difficult it is for citizens to speak with their leaders. How do we fix that? What am I doing here? You have a phone. You dance on TikTok. You show when you are cooking pomo and pepper soup on TikTok. Shoot a video. Mr. President, sir, respectfully, but get your facts right. Make your point. Post it. The internet has provided all of us with their watch. They have paid staff. Even when they tell you I don't watch social media, it's a lie. They might not watch directly. They have people who that's their job. Monitor social media to see what is going on. They pick things. They respond to things. But they should respond more in a lot more positive ways to things that are beneficial to Nigeria and Nigerians. That's the point. Okay? So, yes, go on, make more videos. Shoot your videos. Shoot your videos. Create a YouTube channel. Yeah. This is what's happening in my locality, my local government, my town, my city, my community today. Yeah. Mr. President, have you seen this? Did you hear this? Go ahead. Yes. I've been on this for talking to government for long. I started a magazine. I don't want to bore you with that. So many years ago, but 4 decades is 10 years. Yes, about 4 decades ago. Yes. 4 decades ago this year. Yes. I was 26 when I set up that publishing company. I started publishing that national magazine. I was 26. I'm 46. Sorry, I'm 66 this year. Right now, not this year. 66 now. I'll be 67 by my next birthday. So don't say I'm too old or I'm too young. No. Speak out, but don't talk nonsense. Please. Okay? Don't abuse anybody. Even when you there are some words that are not abused. They are the facts. They're not abusing anybody. But it's the reality. That's all. If somebody is stupid, he's stupid. If somebody is greedy, he's greedy. If somebody is crooked, is corrupt, is corrupt. But have your receipts. Yes. So somebody come to me tomorrow to say, okay, Richie, you said this and you are advising people to say, have your receipts. I'm showing you receipts here, everything what I'm saying here, and I have more. There are things I don't even want to talk about, okay, so that, you know, for this particular, I'm going to share a story. I'm sorry I'll share it. I've been trying to say no, I'll share it. And you also see how people take advantages, unfair advantages of good initiatives. When my brother and friend, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, became the governor of Ekiti State, the very first time we met after he assumed office, one of the things I suggested to him was to have a direct access to the people, for the people to have a direct access to talk to him directly. Okay, what's happening around them. And he said, wow, Richie, that's a wonderful idea. How do we do that? I set that up. I invited a communications company then, well, a dedicated telephone line. Call that number. The governor will pick one side. If it's not available, it's recorded. At his own spare time, he will look. He did. But guess what will happen at the end of, at some time, you hear someone, at the point they sent me a load of recording. I said, see what's happening, see what Governor, I'm just asking today if you have eaten. Have you eaten? Eh? What? Of course, I mean, I picked one of the good ones. Have you eaten today? Not even abuse. If you abuse to say, how can you use stupid governor? Look at our road. Well, the governor will, well, one finger, remove the stupid away, but listen to the bad road and see, and maybe go there, maybe send people there. And I know he moved around a lot. We met at some very unannounced places. And me too, I was interested in, you know, local issues, you know, especially around the issues of tourism and the outdoor. And we, you know, accidentally met at some point, and his security people would say, no, you say, no, leave that guy. Speak, do your own, but don't abuse systems that are put in place. Of course, the government had to eventually stop that, because some of the recordings were just about things that didn't make sense, that people would even pick their phones and begin to make such. Yeah. Okay. So it's not about not being able to talk to the government, it's about what you're saying. Right now, one of the most important things I believe Nigerians should begin to say to their government is the issue of putting the referendum, the issues around the referendum in the ballot. on the ballot for the next election, if he does so. Demand it now. Make videos now. Make audios. Post now. Write open letters now. There's so much avenue. The internet has given you so much avenues to do that, to speak to government. But make sense, please. Make sense when you're doing that. Okay, thank you. So this is just an observation. I wonder why we never see family members of politicians being kidnapped or killed or attacked or even. I don't wish anybody, politicians, anybody to be kidnapped. Nigeria should be made safe for everybody. So the politicians should take note. What do you mean? There was somebody, a politician, traveling from Jigawa to Abuja to go collect form, and they kidnapped him and killed him. It's happening already. It's not that I've not heard of, not an observation. It's happening. It's getting closer. People are getting more and more desperate. Be it political opponents that are sending people to target people to whatever, it's getting closer. It's getting crazier. That's the point. Okay? What do you say to the people rooting for Goodluck Jonathan to return? I think all of them need to go and see a psychiatrist. That's all I would say. If we are following past events, nothing will change, and this election will still be rigged. I don't know where you get your hope and optimism from. I think I responded to this when I was talking to the guys on TikTok earlier, when one of the videos was playing. We can't choose pessimism. We must remain hopeful and optimistic. And that's why we're saying, engage now. Register. Get your PVC. Determined to vote, organize, support whoever you want to support, but think about what the likely result of. That's why we're doing this program, and that's why for the rest of this podcast and live stream, it's going to be heavy on Nigeria's socio-political scenarios about who is wanting to do what, who is contesting. Is going to be heavy on Peter Obi and Engineer Kwankwaso, yes, because I believe. I've never met Peter Obi, I've never met Engineer Kwankwaso. But I believe that if they could come together to agree to work together, that's a sure way. That gives hope. That's where I get my optimism from, sir. Yeah, that's hope. You see, there are some other people in government. If you've had the videos, you have the two women who spoke. There are others who are speaking from under the table. Everybody should come out and speak now, or hold your peace. Not like General Gowon that kept saying, I won't want to talk at all, and then when he's speaking now, he's talking nonsense in a book. I'm an author. I've written several books. There are things that you are privy to, but common sense just says, well, hold your peace. Not to come and reopen things by lying. You can't be the only one that's right. Now, how many people have written how many books? But let me not go back into that, please. My optimism comes from the issue of we being human beings. Once, as a human being, you lose hope, you are dead. So I can't afford to do that. I have a family member who refers to me as an incurable optimist. I wear that toga. I agree. I don't have a choice but to remain optimistic about anything I'm doing. Not stupidly optimistic. I'm calculatingly optimistic. Yeah. Okay. This one said, do you agree with the recommendation that Nigerians should now arm themselves with the frustration people are going through? It's still illegal to carry firearms in Nigeria without permission. Let's understand that. So when people, even those that are supposedly in government, are making such careless talks. By the way, a whole lot of Nigerians already are armed, even with military-grade weapons, armed by the same politician. When I'm saying it is not armed. How did Boko Haram start? Boko Haram got started from a governor, a previous governor of Borno State, who used the group as political thugs, abandoning them after getting into office, and the leader of the sect took it to the religious and then Nigeria is where it is now. And that person is still around, walking around Nigeria. Gave birth to your present vice president, who was still accommodating terrorists. One was declared wanted, but then was arrested in his house. And they are the ones in government. You heard one of the women who spoke in a video earlier referred to him directly, the vice president of Nigeria, as a terrorist. Not me, that video. Why haven't they gone to go and arrest that woman? Why are they not locked her up that she's abusing them or disgracing them? Why have they not? It's there recorded. I didn't record it. By name. There's some very unpleasant things about the president himself. But they know themselves. They are politicians. They've been there. They know these people more than you, that you're killing yourself on the outside. You don't know. You're talking, he's my brother, he worships the same way. He's a Muslim, he's a Christian. Forget all of those things. They don't care. They themselves don't care about those things. Okay, so I'm going to leave you. I thank you for being such wonderful audiences, TikTok, YouTube, and followers, subscribers. Thank you so much for all of you that have subscribed. Please push us more. We are inching our way towards that 5,000 milestone. Okay, you helped us to cross the 1,000 milestone. Our next milestone to be announced, to shout about, is 5,000 milestone. So thank you so very much for being part of our show today. And it's still 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, 1 p.m. West African time, including Nigeria. My name is Richie Adewusi. I'm going to be leaving you with Engineer Rabiu Kwankwaso's interview. It's a bit lengthy, but I encourage you to listen to it. There's a lot of sights and sound of accountability in that video. That's why I'm leaving you with it. So till the next one, which is next Friday, see you. Bye-bye.
Even 2023 election, in my own house, my own daughter was telling me to go and work with Peter Obi. She didn't say she was obedient, but she wanted me to work together with him. For me now, and it wasn't just because we are going to Southeast just because of Southeast. No, I looked around together with our leadership in the North to say, okay, who do we think is capable? Who can come and work together with us honestly so that we can move this country? And along the line, we realized that Peter Obi is at the forefront of it, and that's why we all accepted to work together. And what is key now is not presidency from the North or from the South. What is key is to have a quality leadership, people who are enthusiastic, who are determined and committed to give the country the leadership it deserves.
Now, the NDC has officially zoned its presidential ticket to the South, and you have publicly backed that decision. For many Nigerians, that was unexpected. Why did you support it? Was that decision driven by principle, by political realism, or the recognition that the opposition simply cannot afford another bitter internal battle over zoning?
Thank you very much, Charles. Maybe all of the above. But let me say that I am so happy that I joined this rapidly growing party, the NDC. I believe so far so good. We are doing well. And I met people that I can call like minds, ranging from the leader of the party, Senator Dixon, the former governor of Bayelsa State, of course, Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra State, and many other leaders that are today in our party. And I believe that many more are coming. And I'm happy to say that right from day one, we sat down together, we looked at the situation on the ground in this country, and we decided to take some major decisions, including what you just mentioned, that is zoning the presidency to the south for 4 years. And of course, after that, the presidency will rotate to the north. We are very happy that we are loyal party members wherever we find ourselves. We realized even before we joined the party was contemplating to zone it to the south for many obvious reasons. And therefore, almost all of us joining from the north, we accepted, because as it stands now, people are debating. Some would say it should come to the north, others will say it should go to the south. But from our own end, we believe the best way to go now is to take it to the south so that we can eliminate the confusion that emanated from the death of our brother, our friend, Umar Musa Yar'Adua. That actually introduced the confusion into the system. Even though, in a way, one can argue that from 1999 to date, the South have done more years than the North.
Well, it depends on how you count it.
That's from 1999 to date, yes.
Because if you count it from independence, in terms of including military rule.
Yeah, it depends on how it suits you.
Yeah.
And in the South now...
So it suits you from 1999 then?
Yeah, well, and it didn't work with the party. What worked now is counting from Buhari. Anybody from the South on that side of argument would say that I had 8 years. And the South is now doing its first term. In the next 1 year or so, it will be 4 years. So the arguments are there. I believe that it's good for us to be having consensus. There is no point in fighting. And what is key now is not presidency from the North or from the South. What is key is to have a quality leadership. People who are enthusiastic, who are determined and committed to give the country the leadership it deserves. You see, by now, especially those of us in the political trenches, would tell you that it is not only the man from your end that would make the country move forward. We have seen what happened during Obasanjo. We are part of it, and we believe he has done his best. From there, our brother, our friend came in, Umar Musa Yar'Adua, of blessed memory. There were issues, especially challenges of his health. When Jonathan came, we had many issues, especially the agreement at that time that he would do one term. For whatever reason, things have decided to change, and many things happened along that direction. But what is even relevant is the Buhari administration. I worked so hard, and I'm sure you remember, we brought about 1.9, almost 2 million votes. But as politicians, we are not recognized. We worked, we put our lives even on the line that time. But unfortunately, we could not see any benefit either as individuals or the constituencies that we represented. Of course, thereafter, we have this administration again. Everybody knows there are issues, and therefore people are determined at grassroots level, and even at the level we are operating now, that there should be some level of changes. And that is why I'm sure the Nigerians, since we decided to join NDC, have decided to come and join us. And you could see what is happening almost everywhere in this country, and even beyond. People are opening offices everywhere across the world. So we're happy about that.
And of course, by supporting southern zoning, you're effectively conceding that Peter Obi is now the front runner for the NDC presidential ticket. Is that right? Are we looking at an Obi Kwankwaso or OK ticket and not a Kwankwaso Obi KO ticket?
Well, that is how it should be, but we are, like I told you, are loyal party members. Of course, party is supreme. When it took decision to do this zoning, we all accepted, and we are working on it. Now, the likely chances are what you exactly said, and I'm sure Nigerians will be happy about it.
When you say the likely chances, I mean, your supporters in the north see you as one of the region's strongest political figures. I mean, how difficult was it convincing them to accept the idea of another southern presidential candidate so soon after the emergence of Bola Tinubu that you would then support?
Now, you see, the issue now is that each and every individual in this country has one issue or the other to demand for change, ranging from the economy to the issue of insecurity, especially in this part of the country, to the issue or issues that we have seen with infrastructural developments, especially in this part of the country, and so on and so on and so forth. And that is why you find so many people are not even thinking of he has to be from my religion, he has to be from my part of the country, he has to be tall, he has to be short. Of course, people are looking for vibrant people who are strong enough to do the job, especially based on recent experiences. So nobody is waiting for anybody to tell him what to do, because everybody has a reason to say yes, we are yearning for change, and positive change for that matter. And I believe the names we mentioned and the party itself represent that change people are talking about. So that is why within a couple of weeks that we joined this party, you find so many people across the country who are pushing, who are coming around, who are registering with NDC. And we always add them at the same time to register with INEC, because it's only when you register with INEC that you can be in a position to bring in an effective and positive change.
But I'm sure you know that critics are already saying that this arrangement that you have in the NDC risks alienating parts of the North politically. Are you worried that the opposition in general and the NDC in particular may unintentionally weaken itself in key northern states?
You see, whatever you do, people will bring in some arguments for and against. And that is part of the democracy. For us, we stand by the fact that we need a very committed, solid, and of course effective leadership. And that is exactly what this country needs now. For me, it's not a matter of North or South or any other
but it's not just
differences.
you.
That's what I'm saying. It has to start from me.
Right.
And then it is our responsibility to go and sell those ideas to the people. Yes, people who are on the other side or who are in the other parties will go and tell their own stories. And I'm happy we have enough time for everybody to go and tell his own stories. And probably that is why I'm even here, to convince the people, especially the young men and women and other nationalists, that yes, there is need to have this solid and credible leadership that will come to stop all these evils that are happening, especially the issue of insecurity in northern Nigeria and even in the south, the issue of economy. People are complaining everywhere. The issue of infrastructure and so on, the matter of education. That's the area that I'm very much interested in. And I can tell you, as a former Minister of Defense that you mentioned, I am even shocked and surprised by what is happening.
What would you do differently? If you
our soldiers, I can tell you, our soldiers, the military that we have in all the parts of this country are people who are well trained locally and internationally. They are determined to do the right thing. I think, in my opinion, what is lacking is the political will. And both of us, my humble self and Peter Obi, have agreed to tackle that issue head on to ensure that there is peace and stability in this country.
So let me ask you this, definitively, ineluctably, if Peter Obi eventually becomes the NDC candidate, your role would be that of his running mate. Is that clear?
I told you right from the beginning.
Well, I just want to be sure that.
You can be sure that
so
if the party
decides,
that I should be the running mate of any candidate from the South under this circumstance, I will be happy to work together with him.
And you believe that you and Peter Obi are the men to revive Nigeria's economy, reduce poverty and corruption, lift living standards, set Nigeria on the right path of rectitude? I mean, do you have that much faith in Mr. Obi, the man you were just 3 years ago running against in the 2023 presidential election?
What you said is correct. Personally, I cannot remember any better combination, no matter how much time you are given to find those who can beat us in terms of doing the right thing for this country.
Nigerians, of course, as I'm sure you know, because you yourself have been involved politically for a long time in this country, they've seen alliances collapse because powerful politicians agreed publicly but competed privately.
People will bring in some arguments for and against. And that is part of the democracy. For us, we stand by the fact that we need a very committed, solid, and of course effective leadership. And that is exactly what this country needs now. For me, it's not a matter of North or South or any other
but it's not just
differences.
That's
what I'm saying. It has to start from me, and then it is our responsibility to go and sell those ideas to the people. Yes, people who are on the other side or who are in the other parties will go and tell their own stories. And I'm happy we have enough time for everybody to go and tell his own stories. And probably that is why I'm even here, to convince the people, especially the young men and women and other nationalists, that yes, there is need to have this solid and credible leadership that will come to stop all these evils that are happening, especially the issue of insecurity in northern Nigeria and even in the south, the issue of economy. People are complaining everywhere. The issue of infrastructure and so on, the matter of education. That's the area that I'm very much interested in. And I can tell you, as a former Minister of Defense that you mentioned, I am even shocked and surprised by what is happening.
What would you do differently if you were
our soldiers,
Minister
I can tell you, our soldiers, the military that we have in all the parts of this country are people who are well trained locally and internationally. They are determined to do the right thing. I think, in my opinion, what is lacking is the political will. And both of us, my humble self and Peter Obi, have agreed to tackle that issue head on to ensure that there is peace and stability in this country.
So let me ask you this, definitively, ineluctably, if Peter Obi eventually becomes the NDC candidate, your role would be that of his running mate. Is that clear?
I told you right from the beginning.
Well, I just want to be sure that.
You can be sure that
so
if the party decides that I should be the running mate of any candidate from the South under this circumstance, I will be happy to work together with him.
And you believe that you and Peter Obi are the men to revive Nigeria's economy, reduce poverty and corruption, lift living standards, set Nigeria on the right path of rectitude? I mean, do you have that much faith in Mr. Obi, the man you were just 3 years ago running against in the 2023 presidential election?
What you said is correct. Personally, I cannot remember any better combination, no matter how much time you are given to find those who can beat us in terms of doing the right thing for this country.
Nigerians, of course, as I'm sure you know, because you yourself have been involved politically for a long time in this country, they've seen alliances collapse because powerful politicians agreed publicly but competed privately. Can you categorically say that there is no hidden struggle for control, not necessarily you and Peter Obi, but between your camp and his camp?
Well, I can tell you from my experience, as former Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, I had an opportunity to work with my Speaker, and we worked very well. I was in Kano for 8 years, despite the difficulty of my then Deputy Governor. We were able to work for 8 years amicably, to the extent that I handed over to him. And of course, in the Senate and other places in the NDDC, we worked amicably with people. You see, the problem people are having, especially leaders, is that they are too greedy to the extent that they begin to have issues. But from what I have seen at federal level and state level where I had opportunity to work, there is so much to do. You don't have to fight your advice. You give it, there is too much to be done. And in fact, that's why you have even ministers. You have other chief executives and so on, and so many advisors. So I don't see from my experiences of the past why deputies or vice will fight with the president or governor or so. So I am positive that we will have a very good working relationship. And I can tell you that you can see it even from the past. During the First Republic, we had people, the leadership, political leadership from the North, work together closely with the people from the Southeast during the NCNC and of course NPC days. So also in the Second Republic, immediately after the war, of course we were younger people at that time, but I, as a students leader, I had an opportunity to be part of the national movement that at the end of the day culminated into MPN and our own portion of PRP. And you have seen what happened. Our leaders, Shagari and others, worked very closely with the Southeast as Alex Ikweme as his vice president. It went on and on. I think there was a change during the about the Third Republic, where I was Deputy Speaker, House of Reps, where for many obvious reasons there was an election. The election was annulled, and after all that, the government under the military that time, for that reason and many other reasons, decided to bring in Shonakan from the south west, just maybe because of the cancellation of that. And even after that, maybe the military and other leaders worked together and brought in Chief Olusegun Obasanjo from the southwest again. And it went on and on. Even the Bola Tinubu now probably is a beneficiary of all that. So the point I want to make is that right from the beginning, this sort of alliance has been in existence. For whatever reason, it was derailed, but now we are going back to what Tafawa Balewa
and trying to revive it
have done during their time. And in Second Republic, Shehu Shagari and co did with the leadership of the Southeast. So they are our friends. We want to work together with them. But for me, it wasn't just because, we are going to Southeast just because of Southeast. No. I looked around together with our leadership in the North to say, okay, who do we think is capable? Who can come and work together with us honestly so that we can move this country? And along the line, we realized that Peter Obi is at the forefront of it, and that's why we all accepted to work together.
And beyond just the two of you, I think I touched on this earlier. I mean, both of you command two of the most passionate political movements in Nigeria, Kwankwaso and the obedient movement. But I mean, passionate support bases also can clash. How difficult has it been managing those two and getting them to come together to achieve a common end?
You see, even before we say a word, they are all working together. And of course, together, they created what they call OK. Initially, before we were told of the zoning by the party, some from obedience will say OK, and some from Kwankwaso will say KO. But at the end of the day, they are working not only in this country, all over the world. So I don't think we have any problem with that. But I can assure you, our group is so disciplined. Our group is such that you can't hear any serious negative issue from their side. I believe obedience are the same.
Now, a few weeks ago, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar was sitting where you're sitting now on the same program, being interviewed by me. He remains politically active within the ADC orbit, but he seemed to think that your command of votes in Kano, the Kano area, had been split. In other words, he was trying to suggest that you had a very limited scope in terms of the kind of votes that you can bring, and that even within your natural territory, which is Kano, that the vote is now split because you split with your protege, who is the current governor of the state. Well, what is your reaction to that?
I have no issue with that, and I think we are past that level now. We are in NDC, and for now, I know they are in ADC. I wish them well, but you see, anybody who is talking about or asking a question, what do they plant here, is not patient. Let's wait for the election and see whether votes are splitted in Kano or not.
But the opposition has effectively split into two competing opposition blocks now, because I mean, you're very influential in the north, nobody can deny that, and in many other parts of the country. I mean, but Atiku Abubakar is also very influential. He's in the ADC, you're in the NDC, the vote is split.
Now we must still work together before the election. You see, I personally, and I think even Obi himself, decided to leave ADC not because we are fighting with Atiku or anybody there. We decided to leave that party because we realized that there are some issues. As it stands now, they have three major issues, which we believe from our own side are very difficult to resolve and field candidates. Now, people have to be flexible. You have to work. This is our time. And whatever advantages and disadvantages that are on the ground, you have to look at them. So mainly, we decided to leave the party because of those issues. And whether they will be able to field candidates in that party or not is just a matter of time. It will come and pass. So it's not like we had the primary election. This is not the first time, if we had stayed, to have primary election with our leader, Atiku Abubakar. I remember in 2015, we had primary in Lagos. Buhari was number 1, I was number 2, he was number 3, Rochas was number 4, and later Isaiah was number 5. There was an election again in 2019 in Port Harcourt. He won the election. I was his coordinator for the North. We worked for him. Politics is just like a game. I'm not fighting anybody. And I'm not expecting anybody to